All right, everybody, welcome to another Ignite Visibility University podcast and video. Today, I'm so excited. I've got Oli Bridge with me, who is the Chief Marketing Officer at Bonjoro. Oli, how you doing today? Thanks for joining us all the way from the UK.
Doing really good. Yeah, I'm feeling refreshed. We've had thunderstorms here today, actually. So it's sort of, I don't know, I like a bit of rain, so I'm feeling good.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we're really excited to have you here. Everybody who's on today, we're gonna talk about video. We're gonna talk about funnels. We're going to talk about, kind of some more of the advanced digital marketing things going on right now. So I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. But before we get into that, Oli, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about your background. I know you told me that you were a college soccer player, which I love because I played soccer in college as well, and I love athletics. But outside of sports and stuff like that, how did you kind of become CMO at this company?
Yeah, so I guess so after college, well, university here in the UK, I went on and worked for a SaaS company. So I've been in SaaS for like the last 15 years now. So the first company I worked for was a company called Gorkana, and they do like a journalist database, or did a journalist database for the PR industry. I was there for I think about 5-6 years. They got sold eventually to a big US company called Cision, who you probably know the name.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, so that was it's a really good start in the SaaS space. I got to see a great team working really well, like tight systems. So I think they sold for about $50 million. And then I sort of moved into consulting for other SaaS businesses. And then I got that entrepreneur bug that I think everybody gets. It's sort of seeing someone else sell a business. So, so I created, actually looked across the Atlantic to you guys. I was like, what's trending over there? This was like 2013, and it's cold pressed juices. So I created a cold pressed juice business in London, and I was delivering all over London. Did that for a couple of years, but got pretty burnt out with it. I think juicing green leafy vegetables is actually harder than it sounds. So it's funny, like along the way when I was running that business, actually my mentor was an old friend of mine called Matt, and Matt was the founder of Bonjoro, where I work now. And he basically saw what I was doing with my business, thought it was really good, the branding and how I'd marketed it. And he said, look, if you want to give up what you're doing, come over to Bonjoro. We've got a role for you here. You could be, head up our marketing. So I jumped over to Bonjoro, really excited by what he was doing and the vision he had, and sort of, the excitement that was sort of going on around Bonjoro. And here I am, 4 years later, running the marketing.
Very cool. Very cool. I think a lot of people really aspire to be a CMO. And I also think a lot of people really aspire to be in SaaS businesses. But from what I've heard is it's a little bit harder than I think most people think. A lot of people think, oh, we're going to get a SaaS product up and running. We're going to have, recurring revenue. But it's a lot of work, right? It's not really just as easy. I mean, marketing is really the driving factor of any SaaS business,
Yeah, I'd say being a marketer at a SaaS business, I really think you feel like a founder. I think particularly a CMO, but even at any level, I think you're going to feel like a founder in a SaaS business, and you're going to feel like you're sort of pushing a boulder uphill every day. I think it's that same sort of feeling you get when you're a founder, entrepreneur. And one of the interesting things, and I think that the sort of leveling up at the sort of difficulty level with marketing for SaaS as well, is the size of the stack that you end up running. You have all these sort of systems that you're trying to balance, and you end up sort of having to become, generally SaaS are quite lean teams as well, try and retain quite lean teams. So in marketing, you have to become a bit of a master of lots of different tools, whilst not feeling sort of stupid, for not knowing like how something's done in a particular realm. So yeah, it's tricky, and it's definitely a bit of a juggling act. And it's always a learning process. You're never going to be a complete expert on it. And I think the key is just to listen to people that are experts in their fields and borrow from what they're doing.
Yeah, I love that. I think you said that really well. Listen to the customer, listen to experts in the field, become a thought leader in the space. And so I really wanted to have you on for a couple of reasons. One, the main reason really is because video is just taking off right now. And I've been a huge proponent of it. I think it's anybody who can commit to it and is not afraid to put themselves out there and can be good on camera has a huge advantage with their business. But one of the things that I've seen is, a lot of it matters where you deliver the video, what time you deliver the video. And I think that level of sophistication, it's very like in its infant stages right now. Like even on a lot of the ad platforms out there, they don't have, the ability to deliver video to people at the right time. So I want to get into that. So talk to me about that, but also talk to me about your product and how it solves that kind of situation. Let's go down that hole a little bit.
Yeah, so I think I'd start off by saying we've had this shift. So there's a shift from video hosting, and in marketing sales, always thinking video hosting, you've got to master that. It's going to be sort of big budget. Your videos have got to look super slick. Where are we going to host them? What are we selling? How are they telling that story? And that's cool, but actually what's happening is video is becoming a bit more democratic, where almost everyone in your organization can in some way create and share video, and it can have an impact on your business. So I don't think it's just video is not just the domain of the marketer anymore. So Bonjoro, our product, fits into that in the sense that essentially it's a personalized video platform that enables you to send personal videos if you're in sales, marketing, customer success to your customers at the right time. And to do that and to help you actually scale doing that. So these are all, it's one-to-one videos to people at the right time to basically drive action, get them to do something. And to scale that, we integrate with your existing CRM, sales platform, ESP, whatever it might be, and help you figure out what are the right times to send these videos. And you basically, in Bonjoro, you'll get pinged a notification when you set up your integration. You'll set up your first funnel, and then it'll ping you and say, hey, you need to send a video to this new inquiry. Imagine you're a photographer and an inquiry comes in on your website. It'll ping you on Bonjoro and say, you've got a new inquiry. Let's record them a personal video, create that relationship, talk to them a bit more about your business, and then drive them to that next stage. So really, yeah, that story for me is moving from this sort of big budget video hosting, video is marketing, to where can you put video at different points in the customer journey to really elevate the experience of the customer and really get close to them. Yeah.
I kind of went through this whole exercise at one point, more on the advertising side, where we mapped out the entire customer journey and then decided what ad we wanted to serve to what person on what platform. This is bringing it more on the CRM and the sales level, which is super powerful, because anybody who's ever sent me a video or anybody who's ever sent me a voice recording on any different site, I've always listened to it, and I'm not the easiest person to get a hold of because I have so many messages coming at me every day. So talk to me about what would it be like what's the perfect business, or what's one client, and you don't need to give us their name, but one industry where this would be really effective? Would it be good for an agency where our sales team is sending videos at a certain time? Would it be good for another industry? What's a good case study?
We've seen, for us in particular, we're really driven around servicing industries that are sort of big on inbound. So the inbound thing might be a SaaS company. It might be an agency that's driving lead gen into your business. But also we want to pass from the sales point into customer success. We actually think video is really, it's big next frontier. It's customer success.
I like that.
Serving people in the right way, and also getting more lifetime value out of your customers. We always talk about this, easier to retain customers, all this stuff, but people don't do a lot about it. And video actually helps you do something about servicing your customers and really leveling them up. I'll give you, from our point of view, SaaS companies, online educators, online creators, online coaches are a massive industry for us, and e-commerce as well are really big. And we've got lots of different use cases. I'll give you a very quick example. We had a e-commerce company really early on, about 2 years ago, called Monk Store, based in Denmark, and they did something really cool with videos. So they're a men's fashion retailer in Denmark. They're quite big. They had a bunch of reviews at the time on Trustpilot. They weren't particularly doing super well. So they started to use Bonjoro, and what they did, whenever anybody made an order for a fashion item with Monk Store, they then sent a personal video literally showing them the product before it went out the door, saying it's going to be with you in a couple of days, sent that video to the customer. And then they followed up with their existing automation asking for a review on Trustpilot, and basically putting the video in between those two existing points. They saw a massive increase, not only in the number of reviews that they were getting, but how many 5-star reviews they were getting. And in about 6 weeks, they were #1 in the whole of Denmark in the entire men's fashion category, just
Wow.
from sending personal videos at the right moment. So that's really sort of what I'm talking about in terms of where you use it and being strategic with it. And I thought, that was an amazing case study for us and for them as well.
I love that. Yeah, you really got my wheels turning here. You've got my wheels turning a couple ways. Like one, like account-based management, so like a demo of a new product or a new service that you're offering. Like we just got a new creative director here. If you made a cool video, talking about that, sending that to your top accounts, you got a new product, you reach out to some of your top buyers, or even in your case, if you make a video and you're just say, hey, it really mean a lot to us if you left us a positive review. I mean, what's cool about it is, it's not one person reaching out. It allows you to kind of scale the conversation and the personal relationship. And I think that's really, really impactful. And I think that a lot of people don't spend enough time nurturing their current client base and thinking about it in that way. A lot of people are so interested in new clients. So any analytics, any tracking, any other really cool features that you want to just chat about? I'd be interested to hear about it.
Yeah. I wanted to say quickly in terms of the sort of funnels and use cases, I think, there are definite, in terms of like sales, it's all about looking for signals. I think, and I'll come back to your question in a second, but looking for those signals where there's a bit of intent there. And it's like, as marketers, we're already really good at this when it comes to our marketing automation. So when you're using video, it's like, is there something I'm doing with automation that I can replace possibly with something a bit more human? So can I get one of my team in front of someone? So imagine if someone comes into your business and they're using your product, or they've had a great experience. There's a signal somewhere. Maybe they've left you a review or a net promoter score of like 9 or 10. There's a trigger there to say, hey, send this person a video and maybe upsell them. So it might be they've bought into your sort of lower package tier. And then you've got that signal and you can go, oh, by the way, this person has sort of basically put their hand up and said, I'm having a great experience. Get one of your sales team to go and upsell them. So I think it's all about the sort of looking for signals, and we're really good at that already as marketers. So it's then transitioning that a little bit. In terms of features, like our product, Bonjoro, you can track all of the videos that you send out. You can create message templates. So you can get your own branding on there. You can put call to actions on your videos. And I think that's a key part of it as well. Is like I wrote this thing in January this year called the Video Funnel Playbook. And basically it was sort of scripts for like every video you could send, when you should send them, what call to action you should use. So I was trying to do a lot of the thinking for a lot of our customers. So yeah, a lot of that's important. And also something that people say a lot about videos, it sounds amazing and sending personal videos sounds good, but it sounds like it's not scalable, or they're scared that their team's not going to be able to do it consistently. So we build in features like, we've got this thing called customer context, and you can basically pull through custom fields from your CRM into the Bonjoro application, so you can see them when you're recording your video. So you don't have to go and cross-reference an Excel spreadsheet or look back in your CRM. You basically can tell everything about your customer when you're recording that video. So that speeds up that process of being able to do something personal.
I really like that. Like, for us, we like, it'd be interesting to say like, oh, client payment in or something, or renewal, and then it automatically triggers a video, and then that works with your system. That's exciting to me. And I think that, you're really working hard to solve an important problem. And I'm really, really happy to hear you talk about that. So outside of this, and maybe we could talk a little bit about the video playbook. Like, what are you excited about in marketing right now? Does that relate to anything that you came up with in the video playbook? Like, what are a couple cool tricks that people don't know that, like, when you tell them when you're at the pub in the UK, or if you don't drink, having a cup of coffee, that people are like, oh, that was interesting?
I think the sort of, in terms of marketing in general, it's interesting we talk about the video funnel playbook. I wasn't going to say this and it's just popped into my head, but I think the more that marketers can come up with playbooks for how customers should be doing stuff, I think that's sort of templated. Like, people do not have a lot of time to figure stuff out nowadays. So I think that's something I'm seeing. And actually, I've spoken to other people in my space where they've said, hey, we've launched this thing, and they'll like pitch me and send it over. And I sit there and I think, it looks cool, but you almost just need to tell me, like, what are the 3 points in my business that I can use this thing? So I think as marketers, we have a bit of a job at the moment. We've got to seek out those jobs to be done. What are people trying to do? and create plays around them. I like the whole, I think there's a trend around like playbooks and recipes, and you see everyone trying to come up with a sort of new language for how they can sell their stuff and package it up. But I think it's good. I think it's exciting. And the companies that are doing it, I think, are doing really well. We're trying to do it. I'm seeing lots of other companies doing it in great ways. So that excites me. You know, I could go into the playbook. Yeah, I think I wrote like 35, 40 different plays in the playbook, and I won't go into them here, but yeah, it's all about, yeah,
I want to hear like one play. Is there
okay,
any play in there that like was decent? And maybe just an example, like what's one thing that's just jumps out?
Okay, let's so yeah, I think that for me, like as a software company, I think like the NPS play is really good. So
Okay.
I've seen there's some great companies out there that do sort of NPS style stuff. And we had a really great relationship with a guy who ran a company called Advocately. Don't know if you've heard of them. They actually sold to G2 Crowd last year. He was basically doing software around NPS surveys, and this idea popped into our head when we were chatting to him one time, and it was setting up essentially an NPS survey in your product, whatever product it might be, to then ping you a notification when someone leaves a 9 or a 10, and instead of just leaving your automated email to do the job of asking for a review, send them a personal video and ask them for a review, or send them a video and ask for a case study. Like actually the case study thing's really cool, because I know a lot of businesses can live or die on case studies, and also a lot of businesses are really bad at collecting case studies. So I think the sort of case study play based around that signal, might be NPS, might be something else, is really cool, and make that personal ask. And in that personal video, just put a little call to action, book a call with me to chat through your case study, something like that. And you're going to get tons and tons. I think I got last year something like 60 case studies for Bonjoro through doing this.
Wow.
Whereas usually it's really hard to get people to spend the time. If you just send them like a survey, they typically don't fill it in. So yeah, that's one play.
So I think, one of the main key takeaways is, kind of map your goals and then map the triggers to your goals, and then try to create the type of videos that that will help you kind of get your desired action. And then if people want to find out more about the playbook that you created, where can they find that?
Yeah, they can go to bonjoro.com/video funnel playbook. And I think if you just Google video funnel playbook, it comes up number one on there as well. I think that's key what you just said about actions. That's really, well, I coach sort of webinars on video funnels as a concept. And I think part of the thing is having a goal, but also having that drive to an action. And I have I'll very quickly share a quick mental model as to when you should use personal video versus when you should use automation. So for me, automation is like transactional, and it's sort of very low touch. When you're thinking high touch, and when you're thinking you want to drive action from a customer, from a lead, from a prospect, whatever it is, when you want to drive action, really think long and hard about whether you should be putting in that extra effort. And I think we're seeing across the sales and marketing realm that people are seeing now that you have to put in that extra effort to get someone to actually take that action. So for me, there's a bit of a mental model there. So try and split out your sort of automated processes, transactional stuff from this real driving action. And we have a motto, just to very quickly share another thing, internally here at Bonjoro, it's like a sort of checks and balance of what we're doing. It's called automate processes, but never relationships. And we always have that in our head all the time whenever we're doing anything at Bonjoro. And if we start automating relationships, we stop and we go, well, okay, hold on, that's not right. Go back to the drawing board, start again.
I like that. Hey, is there a video that comes if I download the video playbook?
Yeah, if you download the video playbook, well, if you download the video playbook, I'm hoping that you'd probably also sign up to Bonjoro, excited by all the ideas in there, and then you definitely get a personal video. I think we've had like 50,000 sign-ups in the last few years, and every single one of those has had a personal video from someone on the Bonjoro team. So we definitely dog food our own product.
Yeah, I would hope so. That's awesome. So if you want to see a live case study, everybody, and get some fantastic information, you should definitely do that. In the last couple minutes here, I'd like to talk about a couple things. Maybe we could talk about funnels for a moment, and then we can talk about what else is, exciting for you. But, I think a lot of people struggle with funnels right now, and, they're looking at, click funnels, or they're looking at, lead pages or unbounce. And I mean, it sounds like you have some experience in there. Like, what do you look for in a funnel? Like, what technologies do you like? And maybe I think our listeners would love to hear about that just a little bit.
Yeah, I try and keep things as simple as I can. I think it's really easy to fall into that trap of worrying that you're not going to do the right thing. And in doing that, trying to come up with ideas that are almost too complicated for your own skill set. Like,
Yeah.
I've definitely done that in the last 3 or 4 years. And actually, when I keep things simple, it tends to work the best. I've only got a couple of minutes, but I did some crazy hack last year where I basically tried to, I set up this JavaScript to like message a load of people that used Intercom as their chat widget, tell them that we'd launched on their app store. And then after that, if they got in touch, then and it just got completely crazy. Their legal team got in touch and was like, what is this script that you're running? Why are you posting these messages into it? It's like, that really taught me to stop like doing this stuff. So for me, like, funnel building is about keep it simple and think about when is the point. I don't want to go back to the video thing, but like, when is the point where like you come into it? Don't think of it as like it has to be build this funnel, suddenly all this money comes out, rushing out the other end. Think about it as like, what does the funnel have to look like to get that person into a position where I can sort of have a bit of physical contact with them and build their trust? And the sooner you can build that trust in the funnel, the better. And that's why great copywriters have a lot of success in their funnels, because they're really good at building trust. If you're not a great copywriter, try using video earlier in that funnel, rather than like trying to do all this clever stuff, like, set up this funnel, then retarget them with this video, retarget them with this other ad. Like, squeeze it down and think about, how can you build that trust a little bit earlier? And sorry, it's not a particularly sort of techie answer, but
No,
I do think we have to simplify.
Okay. I'll tell you why, because I am in a couple mastermind groups and people just get way too tricky. I knew this one person who would try to refund you everything and then sign you up again. So your point is keep it simple, right?
Yeah, keep it simple. And I think like identify, and I guess listen out for the stuff that you do that really hits the mark. You'll see that there'll be a little bit of a signal. And for us, it was like a couple of years ago, we started to figure out that people were like loving us sort of sharing these plays that other customers were making. And in your own business, there'll be something going on like that, where you can like pull out this really amazing information and just share it with people. So that should almost be the start of every funnel, because that's your valuable information. So go and find that, extract it, put that at the front, build that trust as early as you can, and keep things a bit simpler, I think.
Yeah, I think when I first got into digital, I was always, you try to do something kind of tricky and trick somebody. And lately I've been completely the opposite. Authentic, real. If you want to sign up, great. It's a lot of value. And I have not been enjoying some of the funnels I see that are like really, really long copy that just keeps going on. It just kind of feels a little icky, So I feel like we're almost in the age of, authenticity and being real in the internet, and less of the kind of spammy, tricky stuff, which, by the way, I always had a lot of fun with and everything, and all that, I think that's why a lot of people get into digital, because you might have one strategy, you're like, wow, that's really smart. And you get excited about that because it gives you a competitive edge. But I think authenticity is a big part of it. And so I like that that's where you went with that question. So.
Yeah, I think that's the innovation happening in marketing now, which is it's moving away from everybody has to be worried about being like Facebook's growth team. We're not growth hackers. Like, I'm not an engineer. Probably a lot of our listeners aren't engineers. So let's not fret about all that stuff. Let's stop reading those blog posts and let's just sort of trust that we can do business properly. And actually the innovations happening now are that people are giving you the tools to do business properly online. And I think that's really cool. I look at a lot of sites like Thinkific and Teachable, and they're giving like people that have great knowledge the tools to just share that knowledge with other people in the world, which I think is really cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. I always like to ask people anything exciting in your life or business that you want to let our listeners know, or where they can find out more about you.
Yeah, so in my life, newborn baby is like 3 weeks old, back here somewhere, probably having a bath right now. So really cool. She's called Zelda. I'm a big sort of video game fan, and also a big sort of fan of F. Scott Fitzgerald and Zelda Fitzgerald's writing as well. So that sort of played into that. Probably the video game bit was a bit bigger. And then finding out about me, just bonjoro.com. I'm pouring all of my sort of best self into Bonjoro at the moment. I really just wanted to succeed. I think it's a really great sort of thing that we're setting up here. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, it definitely sounds great. And everybody go check out, bonjoro.com. And Ollie, it was a pleasure to chat with you today, and have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Cheers. Thanks, Jan. Good talk.
See ya.